The following is intended for mature audiences only. May contain strong language, crude humor, adult themes, and suggestive material.
Hey, I'm Jake Bradbury.
And I'm Will Blank.
And we are 20th Century Fox, a film collective that produced 16 short films. And for each film, we made a behind-the-scenes podcast. On today's podcast, we have director of photography Jonathan Lutke. We discover that John has the best work ethic of anyone we know, although this is the only short he shot with us, and the first shoot where we started bringing in more than the core group, which made it take a little longer. But with the light California rain and some intense hand-waving, this short was really easy to edit together and a nice preview of what was to come.
All right, let's go. The Unbearable Lightness of Being podcast.
That's correct.
Here we have me, Will Blank.
Jake Bradbury.
And Jonathan Malcolm Haledke, Esquire.
All right.
What does Esquire stands for?
I have no idea.
It's like if you're a lawyer.
Oh.
Yeah, I am not a lawyer.
Esquire, man, I like that.
It's classy. So, how did we come up with this idea? That's my real question.
Listen, it's been so long since we did this.
Yeah,
I literally have zero idea.
Okay, you don't remember.
Wait. I think that I always wanted to do one where people don't know when to look up when they're like...
That's exactly it, yes. Yeah.
Wait, don't know when to look up when they
like
walk?
when you're
so they're passing
walking
each
somebody
other
down the street, like you've got somebody in front of you, and you're not sure at what point you're supposed to look them in the eye and acknowledge them. Because otherwise you're just walking towards them, staring at them.
Yeah. I mean, I just stare, I guess.
No, see,
you don't think about it.
There's an art.
Yeah, I don't really think about that.
I think about it every single time.
Yeah.
I literally am just like, oh, hi. I just look at you.
Yeah.
I look up last second.
Last second, that's the move.
And then
you're
nod
like,
my head. Yeah.
Like a scared, like the scared
pretty
gif,
much.
The scared like
and
mouse gif or whatever.
And then as soon as I
gif.
pass them, I
Then
make the weirdest face possible.
Yeah. Like you just go...
Yeah.
Or you just go dead. My face just drops, and then it's like as if I am a sociopath or something, and I just performed being a human to the other human, and then I went back to...
That is one of the indicators, actually, how much your face relaxes after
you say hello to a stranger. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we agreed that was an incredibly awkward thing that happened all the time.
Yes.
And I think that just jumped over into when someone waves at you and it's meant for somebody else, and the awkwardness that you feel. Yeah.
You're like, oh, the elation you feel when you think it's you. And then when you realize it's someone behind you, the crushing.
It's soul crushing. Yeah.
A little bit.
I don't think I've ever recovered from the last time it happened to me.
Well, I mean, I think, though, that the other way we came up with this idea, though, is we just, like, literally showed up and we were like, let's just do something. Yep. We didn't really, like, have an idea. We just had, we argued about a few different ideas.
Yeah.
And this one won, sort of.
What were your ideas, John?
I don't remember.
So
I think I had the idea of the delivery guy. Remember the delivery guy idea?
Yeah.
No, the
Postmating.
The Postmating your Postmates.
There
so that one was that one.
Show?
So the concept of Postmates, the Postmating your Postmate was.
I remember the Postmating of Postmates. So the guy is so lazy that he's already next door, so he doesn't want to go and pick up the Postmates.
Oh, right.
So he Postmates to the guy next door, and then
he drops off.
Yeah.
Then he goes and drops off the Postmates order finally.
Right.
There's too many Postmates.
Postmates Inception, I think was.
We should have just called it Inception if we made that.
It's a delivery within a delivery within a delivery within a delivery.
And then you realize that the guy who actually ordered it also is just giving it to someone else.
It was like a Russian doll of Postmatesing. But anyway, we thought that was too high concept. So we were like, okay, we've got
let's make it in
Tracy,
3 hours.
Yeah. She's here. And we've got 3 hours to make this thing, and so we enlisted you, John, to come shoot this bad boy.
I would be remiss if I didn't give you shit for only shooting one of the 16, although we had invited you maybe
a couple other times.
15 times?
That's true. We have consistently tried to get John in the mix, and always busy.
Sorry.
Always
He's a very busy guy.
Shrooming in the mountains.
Very, very busy guy.
Maybe I am.
No, you're usually on set doing work. You're usually making
working
money.
on the weekends.
Sometimes. Sometimes I might be in the mountains too.
Right.
Everybody needs that, Everybody needs to do that. It's not like
R&R. I remember one thing from that day was that I insisted on Tracy having an umbrella. And I think you were really,
I was fighting that. I don't know why.
It didn't look like it was raining on camera. That's why. Like if you look through it was raining,
that's what it was.
But it's one of those California raining mornings, days,
it was
or whatever.
Misting. Yeah,
it was like really misting more than it was raining.
I think the setting of the rain added a lot to the video. I'm really happy that this is one of the only days we shot with weather, and it gives a vibe. It's that quiet, isolated rainy day vibe.
And that's another thing that's cool about these shorts is that you use what you have on the day. So if it's raining outside, use it. I mean, it's production value. If it's if everything's on fire, then use that.
Yeah, I mean, we should go film. We should go film when there's a wildfire.
Yes, if things are on fire, use it.
You're right. That's production value.
Production value, man.
It's Werner Herzog,
fueled by
go up the mountain.
The loss of millions, thousands of people's personal possessions.
Hey, man, go into the belly of the beast, man.
I mean, you might as well make one good thing, right, out of something that's so tragic.
You're making a really
guys.
good point. So basically, we blocked it out, we shot it, we made choices.
Yeah.
We used diopters.
Yeah, diopters.
Oh yeah, we got a little diopter action in there. I remember we had some baby sticks too. I remember
we had
those low shots.
Yeah.
Right.
What are those called? It's not baby sticks. What is
hi-hat?
Hi-hat.
Yeah. Well, a hi-hat is a wooden thing with a metal piece. Yours are just baby sticks, like tiny sticks.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I don't think that's the official term. I think it's
it's shaped. It's the same level as a hi-hat.
So this actually leads into a story about collaboration because I remember I had a shot list in my head, or I had an edit in my head, and you suggested, John, that we get coverage of that low angle looking up at me, and I wouldn't have gotten that coverage unless you suggested it, and that piece ended up being so important to the edit and the vibe, and staying inside and with me at that moment when I raised my hand. And so
shooting up, not that bad. You're allowed to shoot up on things.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't worried about the aesthetics of my face or whatever, looking fat, or I don't know what people are worried about.
Usually
up the nose, they call it up the nose.
You're not supposed to do it for women.
I shave my nose hairs, so I'm not. You know what I mean? There's not a lot to be embarrassed about for me. I'm open to it.
Yeah.
So and also for me, it's about the story. It's about the project. It's not about my vanity.
I feel like it adds to the isolation. When you're looking up at you, it's like sort of like, you're just sort of like this, like,
also
your tragedy is more observable.
Well, it's also a moment where I'm actually experiencing hope, and it's an upshot, like almost a hero shot, where it's like, hey, okay, things are happening. I can, And so that ended up being that. I just thought that was cool. And
my favorite thing is that over the shoulder where we see your hand.
Yeah,
You're
me
like,
too. I
have a hand now.
Right.
Oh yeah,
I was about
dude.
to say
My
that.
hand.
It's like it's born out of like actual depression to the extent of
Sure.
we're saying this is a person who's so fucking depressed that they don't even know how to wave.
Yeah.
Or it like they're not so isolated from interaction that it's foreign to
this person.
Yeah, this person,
this
quote
person,
unquote.
Quote unquote.
So the awkward part is this is a documentary, and we're spinning it as
I
a
like
narrative
that
film.
you said that
but-
because I think it does sort of, in a cartoony way, show what it's like to be depressed.
yeah,
It feels like everyone.
It feels like a depression commercial. Like, are you
Yeah.
afraid to go outside?
yeah.
Are you call this number? It'd be funny if there was like a number, an 800 number at the bottom at the
Do you not
end.
realize you have a hand?
Yeah.
Do you not realize you can wave to other
Yeah,
people?
you can feel things other than sadness.
And then
this
it comes
number
full circle because really, Tracy and I are waving at each other.
It does that very traditional storytelling thing of beginning where it ends, coming full circle. It's like this thing amps up, climaxes, and then just gets pulled right back down to earth. And there's something really fun about that.
If we're talking about the hero's journey, I would think you learned something. Although the lesson that you learned is not great, but you definitely changed and you went deeper into your depression.
Yeah, it sent me this thing that maybe could bring me out, sent
Yeah.
me further in the hole.
Right.
Sometimes that's how it works. You get your car fixed, and then you get total the next day. It happens.
It's true. It's true.
Life isn't all cake.
And with this project, that's what we were really trying to do was tell people that life sucks.
Yeah, sometimes life doesn't work out.
Sometimes,
Man up.
sometimes you want things to work out, and they just won't fucking work out. So accept that your life sucks.
Do you think that's more true to life than
Yes.
no, the things? It depends on your perspective, I suppose.
I don't know. I mean, we're joking about it, but it's kind of accurate. Sometimes it doesn't work out.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes it does.
I don't think we were thinking about it like that. I think the humor of somebody being so depressed, becoming more depressed. That was like some part of the joke.
Well, it feels like that, especially with like if you're single, suddenly you see every couple ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all playing and smiling,
Right,
and it just
it feels like that.
It's
It
like
totally
there's
feels
no
like that.
sadness at all in any relationship that ever existed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when
And
you're
that's sort of
single,
not
you never see a
realistic,
couple
obviously.
fighting or getting into an argument or like being upset with each other. You just see the happiness. That
I get
they
in fights
share.
over like doing the dishes. You know what I mean? It's like it can be miserable sometimes.
You know what would be good? I like a video series for single people that's just couples arguing about mundane things.
Yeah, like, oh, I told you that you can't back the car in like that. You know,
Yeah.
you don't understand.
You know that dish doesn't go there. Why would you put that utensil there?
Because I fucking hate you.
You're right.
That's why.
Exactly. I think it would make like single people feel really good about their situation, or better about it.
When are we shooting?
Yeah, that's true. We could sell it for $9.95 and have like a used car salesman sell the piece.
I want Will to have like a comb over and a jacket and
Mm-hmm.
just like walk into the scene and be like,
With bad green screen.
being single sucks, huh?
You guys, you suck maybe a little bit. All right, so then Jake, your performance. Do you want to talk about how you prepared for the role?
I walked up behind you and then I started waving. And then I did it a little goofy because I felt like the scene called for a little goofy.
Yeah, a
where I
little
was
over the top.
Yeah, a little
Over-
wild,
yeah.
a little wild.
a little wild.
shape.
Yeah.
I did actually a lot of waving. I believe when you
did.
shot that, it was like a good 5 minutes.
I
of
want to
me
give the
doing
editor
different
options.
waving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah,
you
you did.
that's what you should do.
Well,
Yeah.
I thought about Jack Torrance in The Shining. I thought about Jack Nicholson's character, how Stanley Kubrick made him do it over and over and over again until
Right.
he became almost
Upset.
crazy and upset. And
Yeah.
those were the takes that Stanley Kubrick used. So when I first started, I was just waving normally.
Yeah.
I was doing a normal wave, and then it became more and more exaggerated.
Right.
This was
Until I
completely
was-
my intention. I knew that I
Right.
had to dig into Jake a little, so he
Right.
would go there. But
But I was the Kubrick who was.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I was.
I mean,
you know.
Yeah. Will is the Kubrick.
well, yeah. I mean, John looks like Stanley Kubrick more than
that's true.
does.
I have a dirty old beard.
I found myself
John does look more like Stanley
naturally to John,
right?
And then having to look back.
Well, what I started doing was standing behind John, and then I was sort of pulling his chin up and down to make the words.
But it was
that
really
I was
Will
saying,
speaking.
But it was me.
It was like,
or it's like my ideas and stuff.
Something
again, one more time. Let's do it one more time for safety. One more time.
One more time.
To be clear, John is pulling on his own chin because there's
one
no
more
visuals
time.
in the podcast. So
one more time.
One more time. One more time.
Something interesting, I think, as an actor, they have
as an actor.
As an actor.
As an actor.
As an actor.
Actors are a notorious childish bunch in the sense that they're looking for someone to give them praise or understanding. And usually the person that's closest to them is the camera operator, or the DP,
like
someone who's
physically
right there,
present.
Yeah.
So as opposed to in their cushy video village.
Right. The connection between the actor...
It depends on the director. There are directors that have the video monitor right next to the camera, and they stand right next to the camera, and they walk right... They're right there. They're literally right there.
The relationship between the
actor... And then
actor,
sometimes there are directors...
that aren't even there at all.
They're deliberately doing this to me now. The relationship between the actor and the camera operator is a very close one, and
romantic,
I felt that on this one. It can be. I know plenty of actors and actresses who have gotten together with crew members because of that immediacy.
Showmance?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A showmance.
Yeah.
Mm.
What was the famous one? Jessica Alba got together with a gaffer?
Do you bone a bunch of people on your jobs, John? Or
No. That's like one of the first things I was taught in film school is don't sleep with anyone that you work with.
Yeah, that's...
And I actually think that's a really valuable piece of information.
Don't shit where you eat.
Yeah, because,
you don't need to shit on them.
No, you don't. Sleeping with them doesn't mean you're shitting on them. It's just more like it's just mixing. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm not saying that love can't blossom there, but
right.
But
but you don't want it to.
I think it's healthier and more professional to not be that way.
I mean, there's
you want to pull those weeds up the second that they.
At the same time, though, I've definitely gone out and gotten blackout intoxicated with my crew members, which probably is just as
you don't know who you're fucking.
No, I'm saying it's probably just as maybe not as good of an idea as well. You don't want to.
To be clear, John has a fiance, so there's not going to be a lot of having sex with anybody.
This was all a joke.
No, but it's true though.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's what I mean.
That makes sense.
It's called something. It's called a showmance, right? If you just have a romance during the duration of the show. But I think love and sex can blossom from a set, but you have a very finite amount of time.
You don't want to throw a wrench into a professional environment. That's all
true.
I'm saying.
It really depends on the set.
This
not
is
a
not
penis wrench.
And I don't mean it in a mean way, but this is not a professional environment. This is friends making something.
Whoa, that is fighting. Those are fighting words.
This is filming. Dude. This is fun. This is
it was fun.
A connection.
Yeah, so fun that John only did one.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, I'll do another one. Let's do it. Let's go film right now. We can do it right now.
If we get super duper famous, are you going to be like, hey, so when's the next one?
We'll be like, sorry.
I mean, I probably will, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
That makes sense.
I mean, if I got super famous...
Would you be a part of this if we got super famous? Yeah.
If I got super famous because I made something else, I'd be like, oh, these guys know what they're doing,
Right.
I would help you guys out.
Cool.
Okay. So help me out. Come on. You got a job? Give me some jobs.
Cool. Totally.
I don't have anything this week.
Okay.
You got something this week?
You're like a heroin addict, man. Yeah. Slapping that
arm. Heroin addict for work is, I think, a good quality.
Dude, I've never seen a work ethic like John's in the sense that he wants more jobs. Like he'll do 10 jobs a day, and he's like, I want another one. Just give me another one. Give me another one. And I'm like, you're strung out, man.
Yeah.
Too many jobs.
Alcoholic.
Yeah.
Yes, it does happen. But I had a day off yesterday, which was nice.
Okay. You breathed.
And then I have a day off on Monday.
That's good.
And that's my only 2 days off probably for the rest of the month.
So we then took all this footage, these performances, the love that was blossoming therein, we took it into the editing room. And then this one I think came together pretty easily, actually. It wasn't too hard for me to cut it. It was so straightforward. It was just...
I love the Foley, the sound.
Yeah,
Foley
so
is really great and exceptional.
Well, thank you. This is a good segue into the Foley, because the Foley was all recorded after the fact. We did not record any sound on set. I didn't even think I had reference audio. So we just constructed the whole thing. I recorded actual rain.
Wait a second. There was no audio that we recorded on the day.
Yeah, no.
I remember there was somebody holding a boom. Mm-mm. Yeah, there's definitely someone holding a boom.
Did we get any audio?
No, we just know.
Maybe it wasn't running and the camera had a different channel. Those Black Magics are so convoluted. Sorry. They are a little.
Yeah, side note, he didn't like the Black Magic.
I'm not a big fan.
It's okay. I'm trying not to take it personally. It stings a little bit. It hurts. It's mine. But I accept that you feel how you feel, you know?
Yeah.
It's healthy.
Which is healthy. So I cut the thing. It was pretty straightforward. The only trouble I had was with the reveal of Jake. Some people felt like it should have been more motivated, like Jake made a sound or he coughed or something that would draw my attention. But I don't know. I just didn't feel like it needed it ultimately.
Yeah, I disagree.
And I was fine with it.
I like that it's just like bing, and he's just like suddenly there.
He just has a feeling.
But I think it's sort of surreal how he's there and present.
Yeah.
And then it's surreal with the water at the end.
Yeah.
There's a surreal. No one actually walks down the street and waves into a window.
No.
So there's all kinds of absurd kind of reality things that are happening.
Yeah.
So that's how we make up for our mistakes. We just hide behind that trope.
Yeah, there you go. And I think that the waving, Tracy's weird waving that goes on forever, a wave is such a nice little feeling. It's a nice thing when you see somebody waving. You're like, oh yeah, hey. And so drawing that out by having her just keep waving and keep waving and keep waving, it almost takes on like a sinister quality by the end. Because it's just like, I don't understand how these people function.
Yeah.
Everybody's just fucking waving forever. It's creepy a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, you hit the absurd beat of Jake appearing behind me. There's obviously no way he could be there or have been there without me knowing or us seeing it.
Well, it would have been kind of interesting if it was like a planned robbery, like she was waving to distract you. While
and then he just took my wallet out.
Yeah, and then he just slits your throat, and then you
different
die.
Video for sure. Definitely different video. Different show.
TV or something.
But then the rain was a last minute addition on set where we were like, "Yo, gotta have a button here.
Gotta have another
button."
button.
And that just was like telling everybody, "Yo, this is 100% absurd. Right. The tragedy of his sadness is." Funny how tragic it is, funny. And so here's that visual representation.
I mean, I think everybody that's listening agrees that tragedy is pretty funny. Right?
Sometimes, yeah.
I mean, I don't know what they're feeling or thinking.
It's drama plus
this is a one-way
comedy.
Yeah,
right.
10 years.
10 years, sure.
So then I recorded all the Foley, everything in my room, just making little mouth noises and stuff, every little thing, which took fucking forever.
It sounds really great though. I feel like that adds so much to it.
It does.
Thank you. I think it does too.
Like,
that was an aesthetic that we were going for, right? During all of these, is to have that like overly Foley
present
sound.
Yeah, I think there's something that adds to the surreality and the absurdity. So then we did the audio recording, and then after that, I did a color session with Jeremiah.
Yep.
And we kind of blued the thing out, just made it more. That's not the version that you guys just saw, but I made it a little more depressed. And then And then
I'm
we
interested
came up
to
with
see
the
the
title.
color. You colored it then, huh? Mm-hmm. I'm interested to see the range that the camera gives you there.
Yeah, I'll show you.
Because
it
does seem a little flat, you know.
Yeah.
But that's
very flat. That's what the Ursa is.
I think flat is fine. Well, you can apply something to it. You know?
Even with the LUT, I think it looks flat.
We mean flat as in the what is it? It's the LUT. But how do you explain that?
Well, the LUT is like the color space. You know, it's like what the
how dark
range.
the darks are,
yeah,
how white the whites are,
how much contrast,
how much
saturation is going on. You know.
Right, but so Ursa notoriously is super flat, but even if you put a LUT on it in camera just to see what it's like,
you still feel like it's
flat?
flat?
Feel like it's super flat.
Yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, Jeremiah did his thing, colored the damn thing, and then And then that was kind of it. I recorded custom backgrounds, binaural audio. Actually, no, I think this is mono. But I recorded the actual rain, the sound from the area. Right. And what else is there to say?
I don't know. I think it was a good experience. I don't know when it came in the kind of.
It was like the third video.
Yeah,
that we shot,
and we were getting more people in. You know, it was Alejandro and you, Will, and I, and then this is the first time I think we had 4 or 5 people around.
Yeah,
to help out. It was in some ways
because Mercedes was here as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, John's fiance.
Love you, babe.
In some ways it was good. In some ways it was bad, because the core group we were able to just move quicker, I think, and with this many people we just had to go a little slower.
There's so many egos to manage,
especially John, man.
Yeah, it's mostly John's ego.
Yeah, if there's no coffee, I'm just gonna leave.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
There should be coffee.
He did actually leave, and then
I left, and it was a big argument. You didn't see it on camera.
We left a trail of.
We're over it now. Okay.
Back to my house. It was
obviously
a bunch of espressos, and then he eventually breadcrumbed to.
He was like, "Where's Crafty?" It's like, "Where's Crafty? Where's the hot meal? It's 6 hours. I'm taking a break." It's like,
I think it only took 3 hours to do this.
It did,
and that's what's great about it.
And then he blew up my bathroom, and it was seemed unnecessary. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, that
sounds like something I do.
that was where you came up with that other idea you mentioned.
Yes, on the toilet where all good ideas come.
Right.
The best ideas.
So then we came up with the best idea. We executed on it. We worked as a team. Mm-hmm. I acted super good. Mm-hmm. Nobody asked me about that. I guess I'll just.
Well, the performance was stellar.
Talk about it. Nobody wants to hear my process.
Did you tap into any kind of emotions that?
I believe at the time I was super depressed, so it probably was coming just
method.
I don't even know. I don't think I was performing. Again, I think you guys just set the camera up because you saw what I was doing, and then you staged Tracy walking down.
Yeah,
the street.
We walked in. We actually added that later, Tracy. That was another day. That's a lie. That's a lie.
Got it.
But we just walked in, and Will was kind of posed next to the window in sadness,
staring out into the abyss,
and we're like, "Get a camera. Let's make money off this. Let's become famous."
Really,
but I did try to give a performance here.
It wasn't like you were looking out the window. It was like you were looking into your soul. You know, the blackness of your own soul.
That totally makes sense. And I wanted to do a thumbnail or still image for this one. That was what I was thinking, is that I would be actually just looking at myself.
That's great.
But yeah. So as far as my process goes. I don't know how to articulate it because I just did it.
It's just beyond.
I just did it.
Right.
Yeah, there's
it's the absence of technique, really, is what it was.
No, what I really tried to do is tap into the genuine emotion of each moment, the happiness, the elation, the deflation of the elation.
What is the kindest thing someone has said about your acting?
Nobody said anything.
Oh, okay.
Nobody says anything. I'm just
ever about any of your acting.
I'm just
ever.
Oh no, Audrey, who has been our wonderful PR lady person. She thinks that I'm good in them.
That's very nice.
Which is nice.
What has been the worst thing that people have said about your acting?
I think that they just said I was okay.
They just say it just like that. They're
I mentioned it in
so
another
how's the
podcast.
acting? What do you think about the acting? It's okay.
No, I mentioned it in another podcast that Liz, my friend Liz, just thinks that I'm okay. So, and maybe I am, because basically when we watch Tracy, everybody goes, "Oh my god!" It's like I feel like people will even watch this and they're like, "The best part is Tracy."
For sure.
So
that genuine smile,
the cool hair.
Yeah.
I don't got any of that.
She just pops on camera.
Yeah, I don't have that. No. I just I'm flesh. I'm flesh mound.
Flesh mound. Yeah, you're a flesh puppet.
Yeah, and people don't respond to that as much.
Reanimated flesh puppets? I don't know why. I think that's totally what acting is.
But it's like a Chuck E. Cheese or something, when you go watch the Chuck E. Cheese. Never mind.
Nope.
The Chuck E. Cheese,
the Rock-a-Fire explosion.
Yeah, like the little, and it's all animatronic, and they're like, "We love pizza,"
but it's scary because
it's actually really scary.
And,
that's
my acting style.
That's the acting style. That's it. My process was, we already talked about it, but
Yeah, you want to talk about it again?
No, it's literally just there.
Just go over the top. Just be
just literally there.
Yeah. Just go like wave. Like a
what I like is
wave.
that you didn't say any words. You made this. There's something weird about that.
Wait, but that wasn't recorded though. I thought
it was. I recorded him. I think.
Oh, so that was. Oh, you recorded that later.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, sorry. You recorded that later. Yeah.
Like I want to say hi, but I know that she's on the other side of the glass.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's kind of makes it even more surreal because, all right, well then, I guess we did it. We did it. The Redux.
Good job, guys.
We really got a lot of substance in this one.
Yeah.
Talked about a lot of stuff.
A lot of tangents.
Little tangential.
But
I'm a very tangential speaker.
Again,
I go off on. Oh, have you guys seen the new? The McRib is back.
I did not know that.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
I'm really hungry, so I think I'm gonna get something.
Well, we got to celebrate.
You didn't see that I went off on a tangent there really quickly?
No, I saw that.
I was laying it pretty thick.
McDonald's, if you're listening, we can be sponsored by you.
I'm loving that.
Yeah, we're not gonna say it until you pay us, though.
Yeah,
for real.
It would be it.
I'm loving that.
I'm loving that.
I'm loving.
Ooh.
Loving it. I'm.
Nope. You're getting dangerously close.
Yeah, it's getting too... You're going to need to collect those checks soon. Yep. All right, cool. Well, thanks, guys.
Bye,
thanks
the internet.
Later. Talk to you later.